Hello. That's day two of working from home done for me, and I'm starting to feel a little bit more positive today. Yesterday, I was sort of struggling with the idea of what am I going to do and when, and I found that actually I'm a lot more productive in the morning than I am in the afternoon. But breaking the day up has been really working for me. So what I did is I completed all my work in the morning, all my sort of heavy workload stuff. And in the afternoon, I started using LinkedIn Learning because I'm lucky that I work for a company. We have LinkedIn Learning accounts. And I've just found a load of courses that are really relevant to my job role. And I'm going to work my way through those in the afternoons because that breaks the day up. And that's a really nice thing to be able to do, really. But when I'm not doing the LinkedIn Learning stuff, I like to have music on in the background. I'm one of these people, I can't just have silence, and I'm in a very, very quiet house right now, and there's not an awful lot going on. And actually, there's a distraction on this, right opposite me down the street because they're either having a driveway done or they're having their back garden done or something. And there's these guys going backwards and forwards with bricks. Anyway, I digress. You see how easy it is for me to get distracted. So I've been working from home and listening to a lot of music, particularly in the mornings, and I thought I'd share with you some of the stuff that I've been listening to. Recently, I've been getting in on this sort of nostalgia trip that people have been kicking about with, and I've been going back to the kind of music that I was listening to back in the sort of early mid noughties. And I found that there's this really good radio station on Amazon, which allows me to listen to all that noughties rock music stuff. And I've just been playing that, and it's really brought it back to me, all these things that I loved when I was a teenager in the mid noughties. So I thought I'd share some of those with you. Now, there are some things as well on the list that are a little bit more modern, and I'll share those with you as well because I have quite a varied taste, actually. But let's start with the very beginning. For me, two albums which are just kind of soundtracking my mornings at the moment. My Chemical Romance, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. To me, and everybody always has an argument over which one is the best album. To me, that's my favourite album. And the reason for that is that when I discovered it in 2005, 2006, it's right when I was starting university. It was a massive change in my life. And that's the album that really appeals to me. No other reason than that. I love every song on that album. I probably know it all off by heart by now. It's just my favourite album that they have done. And that's just my own personal thing. The other one, which was a little bit before this, but about the same time, Green Day, American Idiot. Again, I was in college when this album came out. It was this really important moment for me. I was doing my A levels, I was looking to go to university, and some of the songs on there, like Boulevard of Broken Dreams, just seemed to really stick in my head and seemed to resonate with me somehow with what I was going through at the time. I was trying to study and I was trying to work at the same time, and I just felt like everything was getting on top of me. And that just comes back to me with everything that's going on at the moment. I think what I'm looking back at is things that helped me through tough times in my past, things where I wasn't quite comfortable or didn't really know what was going on, times of uncertainty, and these songs were always there for me, so they're there for me now. So individual songs, just songs that I really enjoy, things like Bowling for Soup, Girl All the Bad Guys Want. That one, I just have memories of going to download in 2007, and they were playing on the main stage, and I can't remember if it was this song or another song, but what I remember is them halfway through a song stopping because Iron Maiden's plane flew over, which was just absolutely amazing. And I remember everyone just stopping and staring and going, oh my God, it's the Iron Maiden plane. And then they just picked up right where they left off, which was incredible. It was just insane just to see them like mid line of a song, just pick it back up again, which I now know, having seen them a few times, they can do this, which is a skill I just had no idea. All American Rejects, Move Along. That one, for some reason, always gets stuck in my head. And I didn't realise how much I liked All American Rejects back in the noughties until I started listening to them again now. And I thought, actually, do you know what? They might not have been my favouriteest, like, right up their band back in the noughties, but they were good. And I just really enjoy listening to their stuff. And it's almost like I'm rediscovering All American Rejects right now. Evanescence, Going Under, out of all their songs, that was the one that was always my favourite. Forget all the other ones, the bigger one, all of that, Bring Me to Life. Going Under was always the one for me, and I honestly have no idea why. But it was just the one that appealed to me the most, and it's the one that I quite enjoy singing. Don't ask me to sing because that's probably never going to happen. Although I do love singing and I do love belting that one out in particular. One day, who knows, I might sing, but you probably don't want it. And I'm going to make all these excuses like, oh, my microphone's too rubbish for me to do that. But Red Hot Chili Peppers, by the way, that song in particular, I remember being on holiday down in the West Country. It was a long, hot summer. I was 15 years old when that album in particular came out. And that song, I remember sitting there listening to it on the radio and thinking, wow, this is the last big free summer I'm probably ever going to have. Because after that, it was going to be GCSEs, it was going to be A levels, university, work. I was never going to experience anything quite like that ever again. This was my last free summer. And I remember thinking, I've got to make the most of this. And it was an amazing summer, absolutely incredible summer. And it was really soundtracked by that song and that album. I already really loved Red Hot Chili Peppers by that point, but I just remember thinking, listening to that song, this is it. This is the moment for me. So that song always takes me back to a really happy time in my life. So I love listening to that song. Slipknot, Duality, that one's just fun to belt out. I've been there live when they performed it back at the O2 in January. Was the first time I actually got to see Slipknot live, and just being there with 20,000 other people belting that song out was incredible. And of course it takes me back to something quite recent, this amazing event that we were able to all be a part of, which, you know, this coming together of people, which at the moment we're banned from doing. So it's that memory, that happy time that we all take for granted, just being able to go out and share an experience like that. We're stuck at the moment. We can't do this sort of stuff. We're having gigs cancelled. We're having theatre performances cancelled. Being advised not to go down, not even to go down the pub. So it takes me back to a recent really happy memory of being having this shared collective experience. That album absolutely blew me away when I first heard that album. But actually, I've gone for Alone Together because it was one of the songs that was released after the hiatus. And I remember just being so unbelievably happy that Fall Out Boy were coming back, because I love them. They have done an awful lot for me, and I just absolutely love their music and their message and just how much fun Fall Out Boy are. Panic at the Disco, same thing. Again, I could go for any song on A Fever You Can't Sweat Out because that entire album is incredible. But actually, High Hopes is a song that I have, ever since it came out, which we're going back a good nearly 2 years now, I've just been kind of obsessed with that song. It gets stuck in my head so easily and I enjoy it so much. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful song. Foo Fighters, I could have picked absolutely anything by the Foo Fighters because they are one of my all-time favourite bands, but I've gone with The Pretender because I remember that was a song at the time when that came out. I was in the process, it was quite a long drawn-out process of splitting up with one of my, well, obviously now ex-boyfriends, and that song in particular, I was happy to be splitting up from that person. So for me, that song brings back a lot of actually happy memories. It was me taking control of my life at that time. So I love that song. I absolutely love that song. Paramore, Misery Business. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm not exactly the world's biggest Paramore fan, but the reason I like this song in particular is because it was actually on the game, was it? It wasn't one of the Rock Band ones. I think it was Guitar Hero World Tour it was on. And when I first started dating the man I'm now married to, I remember we got it for the Wii, and we had these terrible guitars that didn't really connect properly when you inserted the Wii remotes, and there was a microphone to sing along to it, and I realised I could belt this song out, and it kind of, with everything that was going on in our lives at the time, and the relationships that the pair of us had not too long ago got out of, it just kind of spoke to me, really. It meant something to me. And I just enjoyed performing that song, really, more than anything. So that brings back a kind of happy early relationships, we'd survived what we'd survived kind of feeling. I'm going to slip in a guilty pleasure one here for you now before I go into the more modern stuff that I've been listening to. So, guilty pleasure wise, Nickelback, How You Remind Me. I actually have a confession to make. I actually really like Nickelback. I've been listening to quite a few of their songs recently from this Naughties playlist, and I've got to say, I never really understood why it was such a joke and people didn't like them. Are they the world's greatest band? Blech. I don't know. But I actually really enjoy listening to Nickelback. Sorry if that offends anyone. Anyway, some of the more recent stuff that I've been listening to. One is probably a bit more obscure and a bit more niche. It's really it's the entire album by Radio Company, but the song in particular is Sound of Someday. And the reason I really love this is because it's catchy, it's quite old school kind of bluesy rock sound. It's absolutely amazing. For those of you that are not in the know but might be slightly aware of the TV show Supernatural, so one half of Radio Company is Jensen Ackles, who plays Dean Winchester on Supernatural. And I at first was like, oh, do I really want to listen to this? I don't know if it's going to be a weird departure from what I'm used to seeing him do, and is it going to be any good? Am I just wanting to listen to it because it's him and I love the work that he's done on TV? And then I listened to it and could completely separate the two things out in my head. It's a brilliant, brilliant album, and I've really enjoyed all the tracks in it. But that one really stands out. It might be because it was on an episode of Supernatural. I'm not sure, but I just really enjoy listening to this song, and it's the whole idea of sort of longing to be home and be with family, and these are the kinds of ideas that it brings up in my head. So I just really love that song. I've also been listening to Billie Eilish. I remember You Should See Me in a Crown was used as an NXT Loud theme probably about a year or so ago now for one of the NXT takeovers, because I'm a massive wrestling fan, which you will see on a future blog if you're not already aware of that, and you should be, because I talk about it a lot. And I've been listening to her album quite a lot. Everything I Ever Wanted actually is one of the songs that I've been kind of listening to on repeat over and over and over again. I kind of feel sorry for her. I kind of feel like I want to protect her a bit. I think she's an amazing talent, and I honestly can't wait to see what she's going to do in the future. She seems to really have her head screwed on tight. I like the fact that she collaborates with her brother, that they are there to support each other and see each other through whatever happens. I think she is a really, really interesting and amazing talent. I feel like it's a real shame that the James Bond film has been postponed until the end of the year, because I feel like her Bond theme is actually really, really good. She's got an amazing voice. She's an amazingly talented writer. I love the creative control she's got over her music videos and things like that. I think if she can be protected now and carry on doing things and have this creative control, she'll be absolutely fine. But she's like my one to watch. She's like my current latest favourite artist. So check out what she's been doing. Check out some of that stuff. Like I say, if you've got an Amazon Prime member, you can actually go onto Your Music under your Prime account, and you can look up all these radio stations. So it's not just looking up individual songs, it's a radio station, and it will just randomly play stuff. And mine is the Naughties Rock radio station, and I listen to it all the time, and I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's really nostalgic for me. It really brings back a lot of my teenage years and sort of early 20s. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. So those are my recommendations. That's what I've been doing when I've been working from home, so that it's not so silent in the house and I don't feel like I'm completely alone. I've been going on a nostalgia trip. So there will be another one of these tomorrow, and I will take you through some of the things that I've been streaming and watching recently. This is before I was working from home. This is all stuff that I've been doing. But if you're in isolation or you're not in a position to work from home, but you have to be at home and you're a little bit bored, I'll be making a few recommendations of things that I've been watching. A lot of it, here's a spoiler, a lot of it's comedy and a lot of it's pretty dumb. But you'll see what I mean. It's absolutely brilliant. Love it. It'll be films tomorrow. Then I think what I'll do on Monday. So I'll skip out the weekends for doing these because I'm not working weekends. When it's Monday, I'll go on to doing TV shows that I've been watching, and then we'll take it on from there. But I've got a whole host of these things to do, so I'm going to be doing like wrestling. I'm going to be doing historical figures. I'm going to be doing gruesome deaths throughout history. I've got a whole host of things lined up that I'm going to be doing when I finish work and I sign off for the day. So keep an eye out for all of those, and thank you for taking the time to watch my self-indulgent video. It makes me feel a little bit less lonely when I'm working from home. So thank you again, and I will see you guys tomorrow, and then I will see you guys on Monday. Sayonara.